My name is Margie Remmers-Davis, and I am the creator of the Fast and Easy Way to QuickBooks Online ProAdvisor certification. And we do this weekly live stream inside of our free Facebook group, which is called the QBO Gym Locker Room. So let me share my screen now so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so the QBO Gym Locker Room, why is it doing that? Okay, is a free Facebook group that you can join. And one of the benefits of this is we are all about hands-on practice in QuickBooks Online. Hands-on practice, hands-on practice, hands-on practice. That is what we are all about. So inside the Facebook group, you have, and mine looks a little different because I'm an administrator, but you get the idea, is that you have access to nearly 100 absolutely free exercises to get hands-on practice in QuickBooks Online. We also do these weekly live streams where I pick some of the exercises and go through them and talk about the concepts. And then when my life is in better order, we also do voting so that you can vote on what you would like me to cover, what new exercises, what you'd like to practice in QuickBooks Online. And in the Facebook group here, you'll notice in the featured section, there is this welcome post that tells you all about how to work in how to navigate the locker room. And there is a link here. Let me just open it up. Okay, so here is all of the stuff. And then there is a link to all of our free exercises. And that link is right here. Okay, so when I go to that link, then you have access to this spreadsheet. Someday I'm going to have over 100 exercises so that I can say, we have over 100 exercises, but right now I have to say it's nearly 100. It's something like 89, where you can go and you can access from very beginning, just getting started, basics, getting your feet wet with QuickBooks Online. These are the exercises that come from our certification course, our basic level certification course, our advanced level certification course. I'll come back to Jim in a minute. The ProAdvisor challenges are the challenges that are inside your QBOA account. They give you kind of like some free, it's part of the Intuit's free training, and it's kind of a hands-on exercise. What I do is I take those and I transform them into our signature style so they're easier to follow along with. So I still have a lot of those to do. Here are the ones that have been requested, and then also ones that have been retired, meaning that they were used to be on the test. They're no longer on the test, but hey, it's still good hands-on practice for you to learn QBO. And then we also have our QBO Gym, which is a subscription product that allows you to get simulated practice actually being a bookkeeper. Joel, my husband, likes to say that it's like a flight simulator, but for bookkeepers. And so you get hands-on exercises that actually simulate life as a bookkeeper, and you get a new set every month. And this right here that I'm showing is the July set of exercises. It's all kind of in this gym theme. So we have warm-up exercises, cardio, strength training, and cool down. Every month we have a specific kind of focus on a feature, and that's highlighted in usually the strength training. So you can see that the July issue was all about locations and classes. In June, we switched it up a little bit, and we talked about inventory in kind of two different ways. In May, we talked all about journal entries. So that's just kind of the feature focus, but you actually get from sitting down and working on your client's account all the way through reconciling bank statements and providing reports at the end. So that's what that is. That's what the QBO Gym is. And last month, so for the July issue, I guess it's still this month, for the July issue, I chose to focus on locations. And the reason I picked this is because it is one of the kind of most challenging things for people to get their brain around when they are studying for the advanced level certification. So in the advanced level certification, you have to know about sub-customers, which are your clients' customers may have multiple locations. And then also locations, which is your client. So your client, Craig, might have multiple locations, but then Craig's customers also might have separate locations. And so that can be really confusing because they're kind of both all considered locations. And so that's why I decided to focus that on for the July issue of the QBO Gym. If you are in the locker room, but you have not subscribed to the QBO Gym, you can still go inside the, in this spreadsheet, we have this tab for QBO Gym, and it tells you what all is covered in the issues, so that you could look and see, oh, maybe this is something I need. And so you can sign up for the gym if you want to try it out. And of course, we have a 7-day free trial so that you can join the gym. Joel will put that in the chat, and you can join the gym and see if it's for you, if you like to do the exercises, if you think this is valuable. Anyway, so you can see what all of the different exercises are. We have YouTube videos for some of them. More YouTube videos are coming soon. We're really, really making an effort to get those out there. So that's what is covered in the gym. I mentioned about the free trial. And then also, when you are watching this live, if we are going over a gym exercise, you're going to get that exercise for free. So and the only way to join live is to be a member of the locker room. So you can, for the locker room, you can join for free. You can get access to the free exercises. It's the only way to get on the live stream. And on the live stream, you get additional free exercises from the gym. All right. So last week, we kind of started this topic of sub-customers. So sub-customers are when your client, so our fictitious business owner is Craig, and if Craig has a customer that has multiple locations, and in the sample company, there are some of these that are already set up, and I don't have my sample company set up, so I'm going to have to just do that off screen real quick. Oh, no, I do have my sample company set up. I forgot. I set it up in my other browser. There it is. I have it all set up for you. If you are in the Facebook group, then you should already have your QBOA account. You should know how to access the sample company. If you are watching the recording and, on YouTube or something, then thank you. Then you can, there's links below, of course, on how to access. It's all free. It's all free. Your QBOA account is free. That's QBO accountant account is free. The sample company is free so that you can play around. So much free stuff to get your feet wet. So here we are in the sample company. And if I just go to my customers, sometimes I have to click it a different way and go to my customers. Okay, you'll notice that Freeman Sporting Goods. Okay, so here, hopefully my face isn't covering this up in the recording, but here is, let's see if I can raise that up a little bit. There we go. So Freeman Sporting Goods, this is the main location. And then they have these two sub locations. Okay, so that's considered a sub customer. These locations are sub customers of Freeman Sporting Goods. Okay, so that is the level of, that's the sub customer level. And we talked last week a little bit about when you create a sub customer. No, let me just click on it. When I go to edit the sub customer, this is too big. Can I make this smaller? I can't see it. I usually try and make it bigger so that you can see it, but now I feel like it's too big. I'm having a hard time So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see better. Okay, so here we go. So here is the Ocean View Road location. And these are all the transactions for Ocean View Road. And if I click edit, okay, in here, you have to check this little box and it says is sub customer. Now that indicates that this is going to be underneath another customer. And here it is. The parent customer is Freeman Sporting Goods. Okay. So, and then what I started to talk about a little bit last week was this bill parent customer, because I misunderstood. I've been using QBO now for several years, and I misunderstood how this bill parent customer worked. So I was under the impression that when you created a transaction, it would automatically, when you created an invoice, it would automatically pull in the parent customer's information. But that's not how it works. How it actually works is it has to do with the drawer. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to go over 2 quick exercises that I started last week, but I didn't really thoroughly do it. And then we're going to talk, if we have time left, we're going to talk about Craig having 2 different locations. So we're going to create a sub-customer and estimate. Sub-customer and estimate. So Joel is going to put that in the chat. And then we're going to go through it together. It says use the same session of the sample company that you used for the previous exercise. I don't actually think that that's necessary for this exercise. We'll see when we get through it. And I go, oops, that was supposed to be there already. Okay. So, Sean and Sign Family Store has opened a new location. They plan, hopefully, did you post it in the chat?
It's in the chat.
Okay, so everyone should have this exercise now and we should be able to follow along. Okay, so they plan to install a fountain just like the one Craig did for them for their main store. So Craig has asked you to send them another estimate. The main store will handle all of the approvals and payments, but Craig would like to track his income and expenses for this location separately. And I think that I hammered this in last week a lot, that this is really the key thing, is that because Craig wants to handle his income and expenses separately, that's why we're creating this sub-customer. Okay. Multiple locations like this is a good time to use sub-customers like we saw with Freeman Sporting Goods in a previous exercise. So we didn't do that exercise. I just showed it to you just now how Freeman has multiple locations. Okay. So now we're going to set up multiple locations also for Sun and Shine. And then we are going to create an estimate. Okay. So from the left nav bar, click Sales and select Customers. So here we are. We're going to Sales and then Customers. Okay. Step 2, click on the Sun and Shine Family Store. This part so far I did last week, so it should be familiar for those of you who were with us last time. If not, sorry, I'm going a little fast. Okay, so here is the estimate for the Sun and Shine, the previous estimate for the Sun and Shine Family Store. Okay. Okay, so on that estimate, we're going to click the arrow in the action column and select copy. Okay, so here we go. This is the estimate. I'm going to click this arrow. Oh, they changed it to duplicate. I have to update this showed up last week too. They changed the wording. So now it says duplicate instead of copy. I need to change that exercise a little bit, but you get the idea. Okay, so we're going to change that. But step 4, now we have a copy of the estimate, but we need it to be for Sean and Sign's new location. So we're going to click in the customer field and enter a 2 after the customer name. Then we're going to click add new Sun and Shine Family Store 2. Okay, so we're going to go right here. We're going to add a 2. Oops. space. Okay, then add new Sonnenschein family store. Okay. And then steps 5 and 6. Okay, we're going to check is a sub customer, use the parent customer dropdown in the Sonnenschein family store. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click is customer. And then I'm going to click in parent customer Sonnenschein. Okay. All right. So let's see what I wrote here. After you select this as the parent, QBO will automatically populate the billing address from the parent record. So did it do that? Yep, sure did. Look, phone number, let's see, email, here's the billing address, populated all that stuff. Okay. Note that Sonnenschein has told Craig that the main location will handle all of the approvals and billing. So we're going to leave this address. Craig could add the actual physical address of the new location in the shipping address section, right? So you would uncheck the same as billing address. So you would uncheck that and you could add the actual physical Sonnenschein location if we wanted to. Okay, right there. Also, you will want to leave bill parent customer checked. This will allow you to include estimates and invoices from Sonnenschein 2 when sending invoices for the main location. Okay, we're going to do that in just a second. That's the piece that I didn't have a chance to show last week. So first we need to get through this. So we're just going to click save right here. Okay, so now everything has remained the same, but now it says it's Sonnenschein 2. Okay, so step 7. Note that Sonnenschein Family Store 2 is now located as now indicated as the customer. So I have to kind of scroll over for you to see that. So you'll see that it has the parent, then it has a colon, and then it has the sub customer. Okay, so that's how that. In a real life scenario, you would send this to the customer, but for the purposes of this exercise, click save and close. Okay. So we're going to click save and close. All right. And then this is why you may have wanted to do the previous exercise in the gym. We're not going to really show it now. Oh, right. This happened last week too. Last week, or in the gym exercise, I show you how to add customer as a column here so you can differentiate who these two estimates are. See, they're both estimate 1001. And so you may want to see who the actual customer is. This you can tell right here is the second, this is the sub customer, this is that other location. Okay. And this is that first one. So that's what this. See, the picture looks different. So they, Intuit's always changing stuff. We don't have any control over the sample company. So anyway, so now that we have our estimate, what we want to do is we want to create an invoice. And that's what we're going to do in the next exercise. Okay, so we're going to create an invoice from the estimate that we just created. And then you'll be able to see how this sub customer, this bill with parent, what that means. Okay, so now we're going to do the second exercise. This one is also from the gym. So this is another free exercise for you if you are watching us live. So now we're converting the estimate to an invoice. Okay, so this is in the cardio section. This exercise requires the estimate you created in the warm-up section. If you're in a new session of the sample company, start by recreating it here. Otherwise, continue on to the scenario, which we're doing. Okay, so this new Sonnenschein location has approved the estimate. So Craig asks you to send out the invoice. This is easy to do. We're going to, and there's a number of ways to do it, but I'm going to show you this way for a particular reason. Okay, plus new and select invoice. Okay, so we're going to go plus new and select invoice. Okay, and then step 2, In the customer field, begin typing Sonnenschein. Note that both the parent and secondary location appear in the list. We're going to select the parent customer, parent company, Sonnenschein Family Store. Okay, even though the estimate that we just created, remember how the estimate we just created was for Sonnenschein 2, okay? But we're selecting the parent one in, just so you can see how this works, okay? So here's the parent, and here is the sub-customer, that other location. We're selecting the parent one, okay? And notice what just happened. This little drawer appeared to the right where we can add this estimate to the invoice. So now the work's done. They approved it. Okay, we're ready to invoice it. Now we can just take that estimate, apply it directly to the invoice. And I have here, even though it says here, the parent, Sonnenschein Family Store, it pulls up the Sonnenschein Family Store 2. And that is only because we checked that box, bill with parent. That's what bill with parent means. Bill with parent means that if you're sending an invoice, the sub-customer things will pop up in the drawer. And there are a lot of things that could pop up in the drawer. And we have actually an entire issue of the gym. I think it's the March issue. That the entire issue of like things that pop up in the drawer, like delayed charges and what else pops up there? I can't think off the top of my head. But anyway, so all of these things that pop up in the drawer, that's what bill with parent means. Not at all what I thought it was. So just to show you, here, let me go back to see what the exercise is, because I'm getting off the top. Notice that the drawer to the right pops up with the estimate for the secondary location. This only happens because you selected bill with parent when you set up the sub-customer. If you had not checked this box, you would only see the estimate pop up when Sonnenschein Family Store 2 was selected in the customer field, okay? So let me show you that. So if I go to, let me just close, no. Yes, I want to close. No, sorry. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, what I want to do is change the invoice. If I change it to Sonnenschein Family Store 2, it still pops up here. Okay, so it pops up both in its own and in its parent. That's all I wanted to show you. Okay, all right. So step 4. I could go back to, if I'm going to follow it directly, I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to click add. That will add it here. And then I just click save and close. Okay. So that's the exercise here. No changes need to be made to the invoice. So click save and close. Okay. Save and close. Okay. All right. So that is now. I feel better now, because last week I wasn't able to finish my conversation about how that all fits together. All right, so now let's talk about locations. So we've talked about locations as sub-customer locations, okay? Now we're going to talk about your client's location. So now our fictitious business owner, Craig, he is, business is booming and he's starting his own location also. Okay, now there are in the free exercise spreadsheet. Do I still have that open? Let's see. Hopefully I'm not gonna, oh, good. Okay, so I wanted to point out that I do have in the advanced section, here it is. Okay, creating and using locations. So if you're not a member of the gym, you're not joining us live, you can use this exercise to understand how locations work in QBO. So, but we take a deeper dive into it in last month's issue of the gym. So we're going to go through a couple of exercises here. Let's see, which ones did I send you to start with? We'll see how much we can get through. Okay. Yes. So that second one, Jim, Joel, is the correct one. I just called my husband Jim. Maybe I should make him change my name for branding, change his name for branding purposes. Okay. So now let's talk about, we're going to go to this other exercise. Okay. Ooh, lots of steps. We'll see how far we can get. Okay. Business is booming. So Craig has decided to open another location. This location will have the same name, but it will handle its own invoicing. So the new address, as well as a different phone number and email address, will need to be on all his sales forms. Let's see how to set this up. Okay. Remember, we are now talking about Craig's location, your client's locations. Okay. So this has come up recently. Actually, somebody emailed customer service about, do you have to have separate QBO files for, for different locations? And you don't. Craig doesn't have to have 2 separate QBO accounts. He can just set up 2 different locations. So we'll see how to do that. So first of all, we're going to have to turn on the locations feature. To do that, we're going to click the gear icon and select account and settings. Okay, so the gear icon, account and settings. Okay, click the advanced tab and then the categories section. Okay, so here's the advanced tab. And you'll notice how each tab is divided into these different sections. If I move my highlighter, or move my cursor, you can see how each little section is highlighted. And what you need to do is you need to click on a section to make it editable. Okay, so in this case, we're doing the categories section. You could click the pencil here, but really you just need to click anywhere in that section to open it up. You can see that it changes colors. And right here, track locations, that's what we're going to turn on. Okay. So right here, turn on track locations. Now, one benefit that locations has, we also have something called classes, which we probably will cover next week in the live stream. Classes are they work a little bit differently. There are some benefits to using classes. One of the benefits of using locations is that you can change the label. So if Craig doesn't want to call it his new location, he wants to call it his new territory, or in the case of somebody who is managing multiple properties, for example, they could call it property, and then they could manage it for each property that way. For our purposes, we're just going to leave it as location, but just know that that's one of the benefits of using location. The location feature is you have that ability to change the label. And if you change the label, it will change it everywhere. Like there's nowhere that QBO forgets to call it, not to call it whatever your new name is. Okay, so we're just going to click save. And then we're going to click done. Okay, so this is what we did just here. We left the location label as is. We clicked save and then done. Okay, now we have to set up the locations themselves. Okay, so we're going to go to the gear icon and select all lists. Gear icon and select all lists. And because I turned on locations, we now have this locations option. We did not have that option before because we hadn't turned it on. If you'd gone to this page, it wouldn't even be there. Okay, so we're going to click locations. That was step 4. Click locations. Step 5. Now, this is a really important difference between the gym exercise and the free exercise. Okay. So there are two, let me just read this. There are two ways we could handle the main office location. One option would be to create a location for both the main office and the new office. That's what you do in the other exercise. In the other exercise, you create two different locations, okay? But for this exercise, notice what it says. Since currently all transactions in the system are for the main office, if you did this, you would have to change the location for all existing existing transactions. While this is certainly doable using the reclassify feature, this is certainly doable using the reclassify feature and something you might want to consider for the future. For the purposes of this exercise, however, we will only be creating the new location. We'll see later how this affects reports and what you might want to do differently. I think we're going to run out of time to do as much as I would like, but I'll try and hit the reports because it really is important. And for those of you studying for the test, it's important to understand what happens when you don't add the location, okay? All right, so just keep it straight now. In this exercise that we're about to do, we're going to create an East location, and we're going to have a handful of transactions for that East location. Everything else has no location, okay? It's going to have no location. So let's see. So we'll call the new office East. So we're going to click the green new button, then complete the form. Okay, so we're going to here's the locations. We're going to click the green new button, and then we're going to complete the form. Okay, so in the name field, enter East. Okay, East. And then this is the other benefit of location. So the two benefits of using the location feature, one is that label that we showed before, and two, this is the only feature that allows you to have different addresses. Okay, so we could say that it's a sublocation that has a different title on sales forms. So if Craig wanted it to say, Craig's East, something like that, it can have a different company name. It can have a different address where customers contact them, different email address, different phone number. Only the locations feature allows you to do this. Okay, so that's one of the benefits. All right, so this location has a different address where customers contact me. We're going to check that. Which is this location. It's a different address, that one. Okay, this is the address, the main address that's in the system. So we are going to change it to 456, this 12th Street Northwest. I'm not sure why I picked that address exactly. And Albany, I believe it was. Albany, New York. Okay. And this zip code right there. Okay. We're also going to check this location has a different email address for communication with customers. So remember that this was part of the scenario was that the new address or the new location was going to handle all their own stuff. So we've got to make sure that this is set up correctly. So we're going to say it's a different email address. I'm keeping the no reply address. I'm not changing that up just because, it's a sample company. And then we're going to have a different phone number. Okay. So the phone number is this. You can copy and paste. You don't have to enter the dashes. It'll automatically do it for you. Okay, so it automatically puts it into this. And then we're going to click save. Okay, so now we have the East location set up. Okay, step 6. Next, we're going to assign a few existing transactions to East. We could just open every single transaction and change the location that we want to East, but we're going to use the reclassify tool. Okay, so we're going to click Accountant Tools and select Reclassify. Accountant Tools, Reclassify. Okay, If you're not familiar with the reclassify tool, there's also exercises on that. So you get practice just using reclassify, and you get practice, doing these exercises. It's super handy. Okay, step 7, there's one customer pie cakes that will need to be reclassified to the East Coast location. QBO defaults to just looking at the last month. As you know, however, the dates are always changing in the sample company. So to find this transaction easily, we'll use an entire year to search, okay? So here it is. It's just searching for last month. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this, we're going to change that to a 2. So it's last year. And then, in case you didn't know, I'm just going to hit the T, and it's going to put in today. Okay. So if I press a lowercase key in the field, it'll put in today's date. Okay. So that's what we did. In the from field, change the last year, change to last year. The to field will default to the last day. Oh, I said in the exercise, leave as is. Oh, well, either was fine. Okay, now we're going to select the customer vendor dropdown right here, customer vendor dropdown, and we're going to select pies cakes. That's the customer that is right there, pies cakes. That's the customer that is on the East Coast. Okay, then click find transactions. Find transactions. Okay, there's only 2. And so again, you could go and you could just change these 2 transactions, but this gets you more practice with the reclassify tool. All right, so now I'm going to click the top checkbox. That'll checkbox everything. And then I'm going to click reclassify, and I'm way ahead of myself in the exercise. So let's go. So we click find transactions, then we click the checkbox to select the transactions, then we click reclassify. And now we're going to change the location to East right here. Okay, and then click apply. Notice that when it added the East location, for some reason it doesn't capitalize it. And I've done this before where I went back and was like, did I type that wrong? And then I went back, no, I typed it correctly. For some reason, QBO just puts it in lowercase. I don't know what that's about, but anyway. So, all right, so we did that. Step 10, there is also one vendor Hall Properties that will need to be reclassified to the East Coast location. Okay, so now we're going to we're keeping all of this the same, but now we're just going to look for Hall Properties. Now, this is something that drove me crazy for a long time before I figured it out. And that is that so I would be looked down here. I'm like, where the heck is Hall Properties? FG, there's no H right here. So what the heck? Well, the reason is because the first list is customers. So you have to keep scrolling, and then you're going to see that the alphabet restarts. Okay, so here's Weisskopf, and then the alphabet starts over with Bob's Burger Joint. Okay, so this is the last of the customers, and now we're starting with the vendors. Okay, that's why that works that way. Took me a long time to figure that out. It was driving me crazy. So we're doing Hall Properties. Okay. And I did say that. Note that the vendors show up in the list after the full list of customers. Okay. So now we're going to click find transactions. And there's just the one. You know what to do. Check it. Hit reclassify. Change the location to East. And then apply. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So now, so we did that. We checked the box. We reclassified. We did East. All right, now that we've reclassified a few old transactions, let's create some new ones. We'll start with an invoice, okay? So we're going to click plus new and select invoice. Plus new, we're going to select invoice. Okay. All right, notice that before you even do anything on this invoice, the location is selected as East. The reason that is because that was the last location that you used. So just now we used reclassify, and we reclassified something to the East location. And that's why East is showing up here. Okay. this field, and it can be very annoying, this field is only based on what you used last. It's not tied to the customer, even though we said, okay, Pies Cakes is always East and Hall's Property. That's not embedded in their profile, okay? Wouldn't it be nice if it were, but it's not. It's not embedded in the profile of the customer or the profile of the vendor. It's only because it's the last one that you used. Okay. So that's an important thing. That's not on the test, but it is, it is confusing if you're working in it and you're like, what the heck? All right. All right. So step 14 in the customer field, we're going to select Pies Cakes. So customer field, Pies Cakes. In the product service field, we're going to select Rock Fountain. Rock Fountain. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to click print or preview. Okay. So when I click print or preview, and then I have to click it again, it's going to save the invoice and it's going to show me what the invoice is going to look like to the customer. And notice right here, this is the new address that we put in. Okay. So this is coming from Craig's Design and Landscaping Services East. We didn't change the name of it, but you can tell from the address that it's East. Okay. We didn't change the email address, and notice that there is no phone number on here, even though we added a phone number. That's because you have to edit the sales form to display phone number. But that's outside the scope of this exercise, but I just wanted to show you. Okay. All right. So we're going to close that. Let me go. Let's see, printer preview. I did that. I showed you the address. Okay, I said the phone number doesn't appear, but you could customize your invoices to include this outside the scope of this exercise. All right, now let's create an invoice for the main office. Okay, we're going to click Save and New this time. Okay, again, so here's a blank invoice, nothing's there. The location is still set to East because I haven't changed it. Okay, but this is going to be for the main office. So how do I get rid of it? Well, again, I said, this is what I just said. It's Craig's location, the office that is sending out the payment. Well, let me read this. Again, notice that the location field is set to East. This is because the last transaction, the invoice we just created, used East. This field represents Craig's location. That is the office that is sending out the invoice and will receive the payment. But Craig's customers can also have multiple locations. We saw this in the warm-ups with Sonnenschein Family Store. In the sample company, Freeman Sporting Goods is set up with 2 different locations. We'll use one of them for this invoice. Okay, so we're going to select Freeman Sporting Goods, the Twin Lane location. Okay, so this customer, Twin Lane, okay, Twin Lane location. Then step 18, for this exercise, we'll say that the invoice is coming from Craig's main location. Okay, so this is the customer's location. This is Craig's location, and we're just going to delete it. Okay, when you click on it, it can be confusing because it feels like you're required to add something there, but you're not. You can leave it blank. This is another difference between locations and classes, which I think we'll go over next time, is that classes, you can require a class for every transaction. Location, you always have the option to not include a location. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do. We're probably going to add a rock fountain because that's usually what I do. Product service, add rock fountain. Yep. So we're going to add a rock fountain here. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click print or preview right here. And then notice the address. The address is the original address. When it's blank, it automatically defaults to the main address. Okay, so that's that. We're going to click close. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that. Note that with no location specified, QBO defaults back to the main office address. Now we're going to create a bill for the new East location. Click plus new and select bill. Okay, so we're going to save and close. Now we're going to create plus and hit bill. Okay. Notice that this time there is no location selected. Let's look at that. Close the pop-up. Okay, here is location. There's none there. It's not because we haven't done a bill before. It's not because it's empty. It's because that last invoice that we did for just now for Freeman Sporting Goods had no location. And so that's why this one has no location. Okay. All right, step 21. All right, so now we're going to select Hall Properties. Hall Properties. Okay, and notice what happened. So there's a setting in Accountant Settings for if you want to pre-fill data from the last time you used this vendor. Okay, and that's currently turned on in the sample company. I mean, yeah, in the sample company, it's turned on. So I selected this, and this is what came in before. Okay, but location is not going to be never going to be pre-filled from this. It's always, have I said enough times yet? It's always just what you used last. Okay. All right. So let's see. In the location field, we're going to select East. Okay. And then I think we're just going to hit save and close. Save and close. Okay. All right. What else? We've got 3 more steps. What could they be? Oh, finally, let's see how you can pay bills by location. If Craig is keeping separate bank accounts, this can be a useful tool. Okay. So now we're going to click plus new and select pay bills. And so here's a list of bills, and I have I can filter here. Now location is one of the things that I can filter by. So I can say, I want to see just the ones that are for East and click apply. This can be really helpful because here's your payment account. So maybe you have a different bank account for each location. And so now you're paying bills for this particular location, and you would select that here. Okay. We don't have separate bank accounts right now, so I think I just use filter. I showed this, apply, right? And then check the box and then just hit save and close. Check the box and then hit save and close. All right, so we have just a couple minutes left, and we don't have time to go through another exercise, but I do want to just point out, this is particularly important for you guys studying for the test, because it's important that you understand how this affects reports. So let's see. Let me just see real quick if this is, why isn't that working? Okay, let me just see real quick. No, I'm not gonna, we're not gonna go through this whole exercise. I'm just gonna go and show you real quick reports. Okay, so you'll notice that in reports, there is already for you a profit and loss by location. So let's take a look at this. Oh, it doesn't want to cooperate. Sometimes, guys, the sample company is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because we have it available to us to play around with, but it's a curse because sometimes it doesn't work right. If it doesn't work right for you, Usually almost 99% of the time, the way to resolve it is just to refresh the screen. So I'm just going to click refresh, and hopefully this will show up correctly. There we go. Okay. So now on our profit and loss by location, this is what I want to show you. So we have a column here that is for East. So this includes all of the transactions that we reclassified and the new ones that we just created for the East location. And so you have that column, and notice here that it says not specified. So anything that does not have a location specified, which in our case, for this whole scenario that we're doing, it is almost all of the transactions in the system, right? They are not specified. So if you don't want to see this not specified column, then what you have to do is you have to make sure that every single transaction has a location specified. And you can do that with the location, with the reclassification tool. And the free exercises do that. The free exercise shows you how to reclassify everything totally. Okay. And so that is it, guys. Oh my gosh, look, it's top of the hour, and I didn't have nearly as many technical difficulties. I think the universe is finally smiling on us, guys. So anyway, so I think that is it. Margaret, you're welcome. I have been looking at you this whole time because for some reason, Zoom decided to present your picture to me. So anyway, so Julie says, thank you. You're welcome. Grab the, if you're not a member of the gym, grab the free exercises while you can on the live. If you're watching the recording, then just do the free trial, and that way you can also check them out. And of course, don't forget, if you're a member of the locker room, all of there's tons of free exercises. Oh, we have a new person, Amy Lynn. Thank you, new here. Awesome. I'm so grateful that you guys stuck with me. I didn't get any feedback that the Zoom was happening. I'm having any problems, despite the fact that I thought I was a low speed. I didn't get any of those, your internet is unstable messages. So hopefully we are on the road home. It came through okay. Awesome. Thank you, Margaret. We're on the way home. So I don't know where we'll be we will not be home for the next week. Next week, I don't know, we'll be somewhere in Middle America. Maybe, I don't know where. I can't predict. Maybe we should do a pool. See, where will Margie and Joel be next week for the live stream? And then the week after that, maybe we'll be back in studio. I don't know. We'll see. We have to see how it goes. We've had a lot of disasters on this trip. So hopefully we are past them. All right. I am not seeing any questions, mostly just thank you, best to you, blah, blah, blah. I haven't seen any questions coming up. So I guess we will call it a day, and you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.